Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CM Trading. And today is September 29th, 2023, and today is Friday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, gold continues to sell off, and it looks like a bona fide downwards trend. But before we get into that, first, looking at today's major economic events, 2:30 South African time out of the United States, Core PCE Index number coming out. Now, it shouldn't be any surprises, so I don't expect it to shake and rattle the market. So starting out with the Forex symbols, the major pairs bouncing versus the dollar, and looking at the indices, both the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ did bounce, so that inverse relationship continues. Now, looking at commodities, gold, as I said, traded lower, and looking at oil, it retraced off of that resistance-ish level. Now looking at the stocks, the biggest gainer was AMD, biggest competitor to Intel, while the other markets also gained as well. Now lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin gets a spike up. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're going to start with the Euro USD. At first, a monthly chart. Now we're going to go from monthly to daily, and we're going to look at it in increments. Now, you say to me, if we look at it right now, you see that red line here at the bottom, a 105-ish level. That was the point where we hit it. We just bounced off of it about 60 to 70 pips. I don't like to pick bottoms, but for right now, we've hit bottom, okay? For right now. Not to say that we may not break it, but for right now, we've hit it. And when we look at previous levels, okay, this 105 has been a specific area where we've seen us hit it before. 2016, several times, okay? You could see that hit it and that red line on the bottom. Now you say to me, we could go back all the way back to 2016, and I say yes, because technical analysis uses historical data as a premise, as a foundation for future prices. And we all see this, okay? All of us are really privy to this. The market makers, the financial institutions, you and I, okay? And that is exactly where we're at. Now, at least for now, we've bounced over this 105, about 60 to 70 pips. Now, I don't like I said, I don't like to pick bottoms. This is not a play to pick it. I'd like to see it just consolidate first in this area, and then I'll have a better idea whether or not it's going back up or it's going to further decline, okay? Or we're going to trade just in a range for continuously until something happens, okay? For right now, we've hit bottom versus the euro. Now, looking at the GBP, it's pretty much the same thing, okay? It could be just short covering, okay, which happens, okay? When you have a sell-off, there are a lot of people that are short, and then they start filling the shorts and then start going up. And then it's going to go back down, and then you'll know whether or not that double bottom is a bona fide double bottom or not. But keep an eye on it, because this is really trading right now, as opposed to, focusing your time on other things, okay? Now, everything is trading in tandem, so those are the two major pairs I'm going to cover right now. Looking at gold, continued selling off, 1865. We had 1885, another 15 to 20 points. Now, I want to take a look at this. Look at that. That is a bona fide sell-off. Now, this was a tell sign, because if we saw this before, we saw that this was developing into an incline. Now, it doesn't always give it to you right away, okay? And this is that type of situation where you just slowly shred it down and then finally you capitulate it. But you'll know this for next time, okay? Now, we've crossed over on the 8-day over the 30-day moving average, and that's really important as well. So keep that in mind. So for right now, we're still heading lower. Now, the next real supportish level, I would say, is somewhere at the 1830-ish mark, okay? And then it's 1800, so keep that in mind. Now, looking at crude oil, just retracing here to $91 after hitting almost $95, $94.70-ish level. So keep that in mind. Now we are consolidating. Did we hit 100? We didn't hit 100. Is that to say that we're not going to hit 100? For right now, I'm looking just at the chart, and we sold off for now, okay? Is it an aggressive sell-off? It's a pretty decent sell-off off the highs. So I'm not inclined to think that we're going to go so much higher so soon. Now, looking at the U.S. markets, first starting out with Dow Jones, we got that bounce. Looks very similar to the Euro USD, the GBP USD, and the reason is they trade in inference, right? One trade goes up, the other one goes down, okay? And vice versa, okay? So right now, as the dollar goes down, Dow Jones goes up. And sure enough, that's what's happening right here. At least for now, 33,900 is that level. If we look at the NASDAQ also. Now remember, we're going into October session where we're going to have big corporate earnings for all the high-tech stocks. So this is going to really play out a lot. Now, which stocks played out the biggest gains? Okay, this is where it becomes really very interesting because AMD, okay, AMD is a chip maker. They're one of Intel's largest competitors, and boom, they went from $96 to $102, a big $6 up. And relative for that size, that's about 4% for that stock. Now, looking at it right now, if we first, let's look at first at a daily. We hit the 200-day moving average and then bounce off of it. It's beautiful. It's easy. This is when trading becomes a lot of fun because the technical is really working out to your favor. Now, does that mean we're going back to our highs of 129? Not necessarily, but it's changing character, at least for now. And remember, next month it's corporate earnings, so they may push this up for that time period. Now, ALCOA also had a big gain yesterday from $25 to $28. That's also very noteworthy. If we look at the other stocks, Facebook was the one, also had a decent gain yesterday, okay, especially hitting from 287 to 304. Now, the point is with Facebook or Meta, whatever you want to call it, is that it traded and didn't sell off. It traded sideways while the rest of the market was selling off and did hold its gains. So I do anticipate this will be a future gain there as well. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin got a nice spike up to 26,900, almost 27,000, didn't hold it, but it's at that top of that range. Whether or not it'll continue, don't know, but keep an eye on it because now it seems like it's back in play, at least for a day trader. For these type of spikes, these type of moves in the market, if you have the access to the market on a regular basis, on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, you can take advantage of it, okay? So just keep that in mind, but it's at the top of the range, so it may probably will retrace at this level. That would be my guess. However, just keep an eye on it. Okay, if it does break above 27,500, then I'd be looking for it to correct maybe to 30. This is Razak. I wish you guys a great trading day and a beautiful weekend. Thank you.